Thank you for the kind introduction, Faith, and good morning to the SAIPA membership once again. So, as Faith has mentioned, very much the point of discussion right now is going to be tax debts and the post pandemic recovery. And this is something that I personally specialize in and have been doing so over the last 2 years in light of the pandemic. What we have seen is a massive uptake. And just as an introduction, this is an uptake in not only companies, ranging from large companies to micro companies, but also individuals who are unable to settle their liability with SARS or have some gripe with their tax affairs. And due to the financial uncertainty that the ongoing pandemic has caused, there are numerous individuals and companies in South Africa who do not know what the following month holds for them and are trying to set aside reserve funds to see them through until their next big break. And especially with the companies, what we have seen is many companies are opting to not retrench employees nor give them salary cuts, but the flip side of that, and unfortunately the adverse impact of that, is in order to keep those liquid funds on hand, what these companies are doing is either not submitting their PAYE, VAT, and corporate income tax, or alternatively submitting and not paying this over to SARS. And this is exactly what gives rise to a tax debt. So, that being said, in terms of a tax debt arising, let us first canvass an individual, as this is the most straightforward. In the case of an individual, what we've seen with both SA residents and expatriates alike is an assessment is raised by SARS. However, quite often the taxpayer is blindsided, and in the event of incorrect filings on their returns or any human error, so to speak, we see the taxpayers being penalized quite heavily. And this is unfortunate because they're already in a precarious financial situation. One thing to note is with regards to certain expats that the filing of the provisional returns, and this applies to South Africans that obviously have the provisional filings as well, is that a tax debt, so to speak, does not arise from the filing of a provisional return. The provisional return, from a debt perspective, simply gives an estimate of what the liability would be at, whereas the annual return, as it always has, actually finalizes that amount, either increasing it or decreasing it, and that gives rise to a tax debt on an individual basis.